Hello, happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining me here tonight, everyone. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time when we can relax and craft together, and we work on a project from beginning to end so you can be part of the whole entire thing. So we're going to continue tonight on the Splendid Sampler 2 Quilt Along. On Monday, we finished up the grandfather clock. Look at that one. I think this is our most impressive finish so far. There's a lot going on with this one, and look at that cute little shiny button in the middle there. I love how this turned out. It's all dry. We wet down the face of it to get rid of our water-soluble marker, and it all came out. Even though we pressed over it a little bit, it still came out, so that was good. Did take a little bit of water, a little bit of shushing on there, but it did come out. So tonight, you guys, we are going to continue to work on some blocks to finish them up. I actually have a lot less unfinished blocks than I thought, and I'll show you them. For the whole quilt along, I actually have a ton of unfinished ones, but for blocks that we've actually started, I almost have them all finished, even though there's a lot of work on a few of them. But tonight, I'm hoping we'll finish this. Easy peasy. All we have to do is sew down these shapes here. They're already fused, and we're just sewing them down for, you know, an extra measure, I suppose, to keep it there. And then I thought we'd work on, do you remember this one? Balance. So this is that elephant from ages and ages ago. Oh, I think it was, let's see, I wonder if it says. Oh yeah, this is the fourth one we started, and I'm still not done. So I thought we'd do some hand stitching on that today. So this did have that fusible that I think is really hard to stitch through. So I don't know, I'm gonna give it a try again and see if I wanna keep working on going all the way around with this stiff fusible. So we'll see how that goes. If it's just too difficult, then I might scratch it and just sew it on with the machine. Who knows? We'll see. But I'll flip this around now, and I'll show you guys my other unfinished ones. I actually have two other unfinished ones that I've started that I haven't finished yet. So thanks again for joining me, and we'll start sewing. Okay. So here are the two other ones. So I have Betty's Bloom right here. This is paper piecing. So it looks like we have a few pieces started, but it looks like we haven't started any of these for those. So there's 8 pieces in total, and it looks like, you know, 8 little triangles we're paper piecing. And it looks like I have a start here, maybe even just one more layer to put on here. It looks like more than that. I don't know. A few more on that one. And then we got to do the whole other side, and then we got to sew the whole thing together yet. So this one's got quite a bit. This one's a pretty good paper piecing yet. And the paper piecing, that's the same thing that we did for the whole background of the clock here. And then the only other one I have in here besides Balance, which I'm hoping to work on today, here's that elephant. There's embroidery for the ear and the eye and the tail, which I haven't done, but I'm actually stitching the whole entire piece. I thought I'd hand stitch around there, but again, that's being pretty difficult through this fusible. This is that Steam-A-Seam 2, but there's a Steam-A-Seam 2 Light that I should be using for the applique. I don't have any of that though, and I didn't know about it when I started this, so we'll see. We'll see how that is in my hands. And then this is the last one that I don't have finished, and this one's even earlier than the elephant. This is the clamshells one. So we got all of the little clamshells to make yet. So I have them in order. In order from left to right, top to bottom. So this is the order that I wanted to do the clamshells, and I think the next row gets 4, and then probably 3 in the row after that. And it looks like we've picked out all the threads for the embroidery. I only have 1 flower done. There's 2 more to go. So this one has a pile of work to go on it too. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe we start tackling this one little by little as well. But this is pretty good. In my head, I had like 5 or 6 unfinished blocks in here, but we're down to, you know, 3 really once we finish this one. And then my pile of finished ones. So all of these I need to sew into the quilt as you go squares. I just want to peek at these. Let's add, we can add the grandfather clock to that one. And then let's just peek. These are my ones that are hanging out here yet. Oh, I don't know the names of any of them anymore, but I still really like this one. This one we did in a night. That was easy. This one was awfully cute. They're all cute. Oh my God, remember this one? This one was pretty involved. I forgot about this one. Yeah, maybe this was the most involved one that we've done so far. They're all involved in their own ways, right? A lot of paper piecing on that one. Ooh, here's another just nice and quick and easy one. So this is an alternative that we could do with the elephant if it's just too hard to hand stitch through. I kind of like this big thread. This is 12 weight thread, although that was kind of being a little difficult as well. We just made it through. Cute. Oh my gosh, the kitty cat. This one I could wet. I left all the lines on there, but I'll probably just leave it for now. This is the Nancy spool one. And that's the last one I have finished. Little panda in there. Cute. Oh, I think this one was kind of like a spool too, almost. All right, so those are my finished ones. I'm hoping I can add this guy to it shortly. And I don't think we'll finish that elephant, but we'll make some headway on it, I think. Okay. Down to here, I'm going to just jump right to the machine. So what my plan is I think I'm going to do like a zigzag stitch through here, just like almost as wide as these little bits go. I think that'd be kind of cute, just in my pale sewing thread. I think that'll be kind of nice. I do have to change the foot though, and I just noticed that, and I'll show you why. So, all right, down to the machine. So you can see, there we go. I have my quilting foot on here, or not the quilting foot, but my like 1/4 inch foot for sewing, my piecing foot, I suppose. And it has a pretty big circular space there, but probably not as big as I want to make my zigzag. So if I do a zigzag, it's going to hit the metal on those pieces. So I am going to, this is actually an old foot that it came with the machine. This one is a newer one, but this one is the zigzag foot. So this one has a much bigger little opening there to zigzag back and forth. So I think we are going to change the foot here. There's the light just so I can see. I have my little leader started here. Oh, let me show you guys. This was our finish it Friday from the other day. I cut a bunch of squares out. And instead of using my leaders, instead of using these to start and stop my rows, I am going to actually sew these half square triangles together. So I'll just, whenever I need a leader, I'll just use this instead, and eventually I will have a whole pile of half square triangles. So right now I don't need a leader, so I'm gonna throw that back in my bin. Oh yeah, so I made a little basket hanging here. So now whenever I need a leader, I can just grab from my two little two little piles there, my lights and the darks. So that is that, but let's change this foot. Oh, that was easy enough. Okay. Get this a little looser. Oh, I was going to show you guys first. So here's the difference. Here's the width of that opening compared to this one. So we're going to get a much wider zigzag from this one. And I kind of wanted to do a pretty wide zigzag to go from one side of that, the bowl edge to the other. So get that back in there, and we should be good to go now. All right, so I do want to change the width of this. And you know, I said I wasn't going to use any more of these leaders, but I am going to get one out here just to test the width. So over here on my machine, I have the dial here, and when it's on the dot, that means it's not going anywhere back and forth. But if I change it to like the 1, 2, 3, or 4, it gets wider. So the 4, if I change it to 4, that is the widest setting. So I'm going to start there, and here's the length. So if I want my zigzag to be closer together, like a solid zigzag, I'll go closer to 0. We're going to start at the 1/12 of an inch though and see. I don't necessarily want like a solid zigzag. I just want like a nice wide zigzag. So let's see what we get here. Oh, well, that's not zigzagging. Oh, my dial turned too. I just need to turn the numbers, but my dial turned. My stitch turned as well. So here we go. Oh, there. That's the biggest stitch I can do. That's a 4. All right. So right there, that's how big the stitch is. I think that's kind of cute. I might go a little closer together so that it's the stitches are a little closer. Let's use I think I can see more on this guy here. We'll go right on the edge here. This is my second test. Oh yeah, I think that's gonna be better. So it's still a very wide zigzag. There we go, but it's a little closer together. See, the length I lessened compared to, here we go. So see that those are wider apart, and then these are scrunched closer together. So I think that's the one. So let's do it. All right, I am going to, I don't know, I think let's start at the top and work our way to the bottom. So I'm not gonna back tack or anything. I'm gonna do the technique where I pull the threads to the back when I'm done and tie them in a knot, I think. So let's get the threads out of the way first. Let's see how I do. I haven't done a zigzag stitch in a long time here. So, and because it's not super close together, it's gonna scream along. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on it. We're gonna go really slowly. And this is a really big stitch, and I don't want to go outside of my bowl. We'll see how we do. All right, I'm gonna rotate. Oh, that's cute. Oh, this is just what I want. Let's see. Rotate a little bit more. And there we go. So there you can see, I'm kind of going across the whole thing, and it's kind of invisible almost just because I'm using a thread that kind of blends into it. But I think it honors the block a little bit because it's a wide stitch for, you know, this kind of funny little skinny bar almost that we got going on here. So this just kind of exemplifies that we got these little skinny little bold bits that we're doing here. Okay, straight away, and all right, now I'm gonna pivot again. Oh, this is cute, I like it. All right, now down this last little path. All right, right there, and I think I'm going to stop and pull this out and then start at the next bowl. So let's see what this looks like. I think it's cute. Okay, so here's what it looks like. I don't know if you guys can see very well. There it is in the light. So it's just that wide zigzag kind of holding down the whole thing, both edges at the same time. I think it's pretty cute. It looks like I went off the edge a little bit here, but that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna pull all these threads through at the end, so let's just shush them out of the way for now. Oh yeah, the weather has been so weird here. So yeah, I think it's, yeah, is it supposed to storm again tonight? So we woke up this morning with a pile of snow outside, and we had a lot of snow yesterday as well. And people were sliding all over the place today. It was hard to, our driveway is just an ice slick now, which is a little scary. And there's not, we can't really even do anything about it at this point. It's ice covered in snow. And the ice isn't going to be melting anytime soon either because it's so cold out yet. So we're just stuck with the slippery for a little. But yeah, before that, you know, we had, yeah, the polar vortex, the super cold, the negative 50 degrees with wind chill. And then it got warm. It got like almost 40, I think. And then now we're back kind of chilly. We're back like normal cold again, which means like, you know, 9 degrees or something. But yeah, now with a lot of snow, just gray and snowy. Lots of snow. All right, there's our second one. Cute, I like it. Oh, I'm happy you're here too, Marge. All right, there's number 2, and now let's do this last one. So this last one goes all the way around, so we're just gonna kind of start somewhere. Let's start right here. All right, kind of starting on this curve. I'm gonna try and go slow. Oh, my fabric wants to move a little bit more than this because this is actually interfaced. We got that Steam-a-Seam 2 underneath here. Just going slow. All right, I think let's zigzag there a little bit. All right, and I think we're rotated. Trying to sew this straight, although I'm not very good at sewing straight all the time, it seems. All right. Oop. Now I'm just kind of going around to match up where we started. I'm hoping that since we're pulling the threads to the back, you won't even hardly be able to tell where I stop and start, but I'm not sure if that'll be the case. This is a test. All right, so I think we'll stop right there. Okay, cutter, scissors. All right, I suppose we can throw this guy under here again, our leader. Ooh, but I'll have to put it back to 1, or back to nothing. I should maybe change the foot again too. But I can leave this on for that, I think. So this is just prepping it for the next time we sew. There. All right, let's head over here. Oh, sounds like I might need to oil my machine. You know what? I haven't done that in a while, so that definitely could be the case. It is about time to do that again anyway. All right, stiletto, where did you run off to? Here we go. We'll get this guy out. So, all right. I'm going to pull these threads to the back. and then we're going to tie them off so, so we don't have any big areas where we start and stop. So let's just start at 1. So I'm just going to pull up on the back of the stitch a little bit, and that's going to kind of make a loop. You'll see the loop of the thread that it's attached to kind of come through, and I'm just going to pull on that loop till the back thread comes through. So now I have the back and the front, and I'm just going to tie it off. I don't know if you really need to tie it off, but I don't know. Then I know it's secure and it won't come out anymore, I guess. So I'm just doing like a little square knot there. Good enough, and trimming that down. Okay, let's pull this one through. This one looks like it got all tangled up in other stitches, which is fine, but let's get the other thread to the front. All right, there it is. All right, so that's this one, front and back. So I didn't always used to do it this way. I used to just back tack, but then you can see like where you start and stop, and you know, it's not as pretty. This is one little extra step, but it does make it just a hair sweeter, I think. So here you can tell now. So here's where I started and stopped, and you know, there's no extra stitches, like it's just starting. Whereas if I back tacked, I would have like a little bar of stitches right there before moving on. So that's kind of why I like this way of doing it. So let's do these other ones. It's nice having this stiletto to help me out a little bit. Thread got caught here again. Ooh, this one's really stuck. It's stuck in the next stitching. I suppose I should do this as I go. Ugh, okay, that guy's not coming through. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to just use a needle and bring it to the back. So, all right. This embroidery needle's kind of over the top for this, but I'm going to use this for the elephant one there. So I'm just going to go through this hole that's here and pull this thread to the back. Although, is this the one that I was working on just now? Yeah, that one's right. Okay. Now I'm going to tie them. I can feel it. This one's almost done. All right. And shouldn't there have been another one there? Oh no, because I went all the way around. That's why. So there should be 2 on this side. All tangled again. Okay. Pulling up that other little bit here. And tie it up. Yeah, exactly, Connie. I like that no extra mess of threads show, even though, yeah, it is, you know, this is a little putsy now, but I do like it. I like the final bit. Okay, and last one. Looks like it's already in the back already, which is good for me. Or is it? No, it's not. What's being weird here? Oh, because I started and stopped in the same spot, so there should be actually 4 threads here, and there is. That makes sense. I think I want this one. There we go. Like, why is there so many threads? But we started and stopped in the same place. I really do like this zigzag on this block. It shows off just the skinny little bowl. Puts more emphasis on it, I think. And it seems like that was the essence of this one, really. So let's put more emphasis on it. All right, that's the last bit. There's the back. Some fuzzles off of there. Okay, so I think he is done. This one I think I need to trim down yet. I think it's about 7 inches now, but we'll do that later. I'll do that when I sew together all the pieces for the quilt as you go. But I think that's awfully sweet. It's just a little delicate detail, that zigzag, that I think just matches this really, really well. So love it. Done. Okay, so moving on, let's work on this guy a little bit. So it looks like I picked out my thread already. I think for the ear and the eye and the tail, I think they mentioned use black. So I think that's why I have the black here. And then I have this tan and the gray. So it looks like I've already started the gray. I'm doing 3 strands, it looks like. The gray, I'm doing a blanket stitch around. And I'm guessing I got the orangey gold out for this down here. Although, like I said, I think this might be a little difficult to stitch through, so we might abandon this idea and try this a different way. But let's give it a go yet. Try and do more of these blanket stitches. All right, getting right down in here. Okay, a little nervous to try this. Whew, man, my fingers are fumbly today. All right, I'm just gonna go straight through right here. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a little difficult, but at least I'm coming up through just one layer of fabric. So, but this is not gonna be ideal. And again, that is because we used that to stick this down. We used that Steam-A-Seam 2, which I love in general for applique, just because it's kind of acts like a sticker before you iron it down, and that can come in handy. But yeah, it's not ideal for hand done stitches. But let's work our way through it. Maybe I won't do that for this down here. Maybe for that I will do the machine. So my machine doesn't do all those, I'm sorry, I'm just like moving around a lot. I'm kind of getting comfortable with where I'm holding my hands yet. But my machine doesn't do all the fun, like blanket stitches or anything. So I can't do this stitch on the machine. I know a lot of newer machines, sewing machines, do a stitch that mimics this stitch, and it is so cute. So I have to keep turning to pull this through. I think we'll suffer through this one and just keep doing the hand embroidery. I'm going to do as big of stitches as I can though, just because it is a little rough on the hands, this one. But it's cute. It is fun to have a little hand embroidery on there. Especially with raw edge applique, I think little embroidery stitches like this is cute. Oh man. Trying to figure out how to go through around this little trunk of the little nose here with as least amount of stitches as possible. I think we're gonna do a blanket stitch all the way to the top from the same hole here. Okay, right like that. Make sure I'm going through the thread. Okay, let's go through the other corner. Again, I'm going to go through that same hole. So I'm treating this as if I'm going around a couple corners. All right, and then we'll do some smaller stitches here. Would it help if the needle was put in something to make it slide? I'm not sure. I think it's the thickness of the steam seam. I think that's really what it is. If I used a really thin needle, that might be able to help, but that would be hard to stitch through. So it's not so much. It's not so much the slipperiness of the needle. It's totally the thickness of this. Like this is becoming kind of a solid-ish piece. So it's a little hard to pull the needle through. It's actually a little hard to poke the needle through. But we're getting through it. There's the trunk. That looks pretty cute. And like I said, I'm using as big of a stitch that I think I can deal with for a blanket stitch. Oop, lost my needle there. And I'm not doing this for 8 hours a day either, so we'll do it for, you know, another 20 minutes here or so, and then that's about all my hand will probably be able to handle for this. Oh, your machine skips when you use applique glue? That's a bummer. Yeah. My machine doesn't do any of those fancy stitches, so I don't know. I think mine would stitch right through it. Yes, Amber, this is applique, and actually, this is the exact same thing as this. So this was applique as well, but I sewed it on with the machine, just a zigzag stitch. And this is the same exact thing, the same, actually it looks like the same colors here too almost, but this is the same material that I used to fuse down this applique. It's raw edge applique, which means we fuse it down with a fusible interface, and the edge is raw, meaning it's the cut edge here, it's not folded under like needle turn applique or something. So it is a form of applique. It's specifically raw edge applique. And I'm just kind of embellishing it and getting it so it's permanently stitched down to the back, not just fused. I'm doing that with some hand embroidery. Although, like I said, the specific fusible I used for this is better for the machine and not my hand. So, oh gosh, I lost this again. So they do have a different version of this. I'm using Steam Seam 2, which I really like, but there's the Steam Seam 2 Light, and apparently that one is better for hand embroidery. But I got myself involved with this before I knew that, and now I'm just sticking to it. Will it be able to embroider on the elephant? Yep, it is going to be as difficult as this is, which is kind of a bummer. If I had to redo this, I wouldn't redo this. I'm not redoing any blocks, but if I were, I would do the Steam Seam 2, or I would just stitch this on by machine. But I thought it'd be cute to do hand embroidery, and I'm locking myself into it. But again, I think I'll probably do as large of stitches as I can. And I might use just 2 strands of thread instead of 3, but I don't think the thickness of the thread is what's causing me trouble. Anyway, I think it's just that Steam Seam 2, that interface is just too hefty, too thick, too solid, basically. we'll deal with it little by little. It is looking cute. I did not embroider the tail yet. Yeah, so you can kind of see I have it marked already. So we have the top of his head that we need to embroider all the way around the ear, a little French knot for the eye, and then this little squiggle of a tail we need to embroider too. So what I could have done is just machine sewn this on and then just hand embroidered the rest. But you know what? I'm wondering if I machine stitch those ears and then just do the eye. I might cheat for the rest because I do have that 12 weight. Oh no, this isn't 12 weight, but I think, okay, so I have this 12 weight thread. This is what I tried to use for that hashtag one. I could put this in the machine and just stitch a straight stitch. I wouldn't be able to do any special stitches really, but just a straight stitch. And I was having actually trouble with thread this thick going through the machine, but it might be just enough not trouble that I can sew this little bit of an area. So I might just use this. And then I bet you I have some black of this. I'll have to dig it up, but I could use that for just to stitch an outline, go all the way around, do the tail on the machine, and then I can come back and do that eye with the embroidery floss. I might do that. I think I'm going to cheat, actually. Yeah, so I'm going to leave this out. Leave my thread out here as a reminder that, hey, remember you're going to cheat on this. So I think between, tomorrow's Thursday already, isn't it? Yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Lately I've been on a kick of just, let's finish up these guys and not work on a new block. But tomorrow is new block Thursday already. Man, how did that happen? It's already Thursday. So we'll be looking at a pile of new blocks tomorrow. I don't really have much thread to weave through, but I'm going to still try and weave this in to finish it. But yeah, so tomorrow for the quilt along, we'll get a pile of new blocks introduced. You said you typed in use gray and it said use sangria. That's awesome. Oh, that's a pretty decent autocorrect there. But yeah, tomorrow we'll take a look at the new blocks for New Block Thursday. Oh, I didn't weave in this end. Let's do that while I'm here. And see if any might get done quickly. Kind of what we did last week. So last week we did that block that we could do in one evening. That apron, I think apron strings, that's what it was called, right? So if we have a quick block like that, maybe I'll start it. Otherwise, I think I'm just in the mood to finish some of these up. I would like to have an empty slate, and then we can start the whole pile of blocks that I haven't started yet. Feeling the need to be clean, I suppose. Get all cleaned up. All right. And there we are so far. Wait, that's quite a bit for tonight. Let's do some more. It looks like I have, looks like my other piece of 3, so that's all ready to go already. There's my needle. Thread that. Okay, and let's weave in the end here. I always weave in the end versus making knots. Even though we're kind of making a big bulbous little woven in area here, but that's okay. Okay, let's trim off this little extra bit. But man, it would be nice to finish another block All right, I'm gonna come up right where I tacked this last one down, and my next stitch will cover up that little tack that I did. Oh, this is a blanket stitch. So this is a hand embroidered blanket stitch. But yeah, it's really nice for edgings like this. You can actually do it around the edge of a like we could do it around an edge that doesn't have anything else, like a real edge, or you could do it in the middle of a piece of fabric, like what we're doing here. Around the edge of this little elephant. So cute. But yeah, this interfacing that I used, or the fusible web that we used to fuse this fabric down is not being nice to my hands for hand stitching, but we're getting through it. It's actually, now that I'm getting a little used to it. Still not easy. I'll learn though. I'll have to use this. I don't have any. I'll have to check into the Steamacine 2 Light and give that a test to see if that's easier for hand embroidery. But lately I've been just liking doing the machine stitching on top of this fusible, like what we did with the bowls. I think that's just been fun for me lately. I have to use this hand to pull it through because I think it's stronger. All right, now it's just around this bottom edge, and I suppose we got to get that little arch there too yet. But I think I can use bigger stitches on this kind of easy gradual curve. I know, Leslie, my hand's getting a little sore here, but like I said, I'm not doing it for 8 hours. 8 hours a day. I'll deal with it for, a half hour here. But that's about it. That's about all I'll be able to do it. Do I worry that the edges will fray using the machine? The edges will fray regardless of what I use because it's raw edge applique. So if you'll wash this like 100 times or something, it's gonna fray. But that's kind of the look of it. That's kind of the look of how it wears. Oh, on larger applique, you only use fusible around the edges. Oh, cutting it and then making the hand sewing easier. That would have definitely made it easier to do this inside. So what Mary's saying is you can, with the fusible, you can cut it and then cut out the center so only the edge has the glue on, basically, the fusible on it. And sometimes, especially on big pieces, that can save you all that fusible too, so you can reuse it because you'll have that whole center area. Oh, jeez. But yeah, probably not the best idea to have, yeah, I'm committed now, exactly, Leslie. Not the best idea. Once I started the stitching, I should have known better, like, oh, this is hard to stitch through. My fusible's probably too thick for this. But, yep. If I were to do like a back stitch around here, that would have been, I think, a lot more difficult. With this blanket stitch, at least half of my stitch is coming up through just one layer of fabric. That's the easy part. It's just this initial stab that's difficult. And with blanket stitches, I can get away with kind of large stitches. Oh, any news on the new embroidery kits? Gretchen, they will be ready in March. So coming up really, really, really quick. And I will have more info on that soon. I'm just wrapping up the final shenanigans, I guess I would call it, for that. Over at the warehouse. And I'll get to tell you guys all about that soon too. So we're getting there, getting there, getting there. Ooh, I'm definitely not going to finish this with just this piece of thread. We're going to have to get more. All right, so I'm kind of stitching over where the tail's going to be, but that's fine. We'll stitch over these hand stitches, and I think it'll look okay. It'll look like it's on top of these stitches, which I think is going to be a good look for the tail. Oh, Jennifer, you couldn't find the live feed. It's always on. If it doesn't come up in your timeline, you can always go to the Penguin and Fish page. Not the crafters group, not the Penguin and Fish crafters group, but the Penguin and Fish page. That's where they live. Just letting you know that you love learning from other people's mistakes. I know, me too. Glad I could provide that service for you tonight. Oh, that's where you were? Oh, Jennifer, I'm not sure why that would be. Yeah, I hope you're doing okay tonight, or this afternoon for you. Fires and flooding. Scary. Right, I'm not going to get too many more stitches out of here. But yeah, see how big I'm making the stitches now? But I think it looks nice compared to the stitches where I had to go around smaller areas like this. Once I got to this big kind of easily, graceful curve versus a tight curve, like a more rounded, gradual curve, because it's bigger, that I could do these bigger stitches on. Oh my God, it has not stopped raining for days. Yikes! Barbara, that's good to know. Funny. Barbara says that all my mistakes have saved her hours of reworking something. All right, you know what? I think this is going to be my last stitch for this thread. I could make it probably one more stitch, but I think I want to come up to these corners of the feet here. Like I don't want to start on there. I want to start a little away to like approach it. So let's, I'm almost done with this thread here anyway, so let's just finish it. And we'll start with a fresh thread there. And actually, I think we will maybe do that tomorrow. This seems like a good place to end, right on finishing this thread. So tomorrow we'll see how it goes. Tomorrow we will check out all the new blocks. So in theory, there will be 4 new blocks from the book that everyone over on the Splendid Sampler Facebook group will be starting. And we'll take a look at them. There's 4 of them, so obviously I can't do all 4 at once. And maybe I won't do any of them. We'll see. If there's one that just looks like, oh yeah, we can do that quick, or that I just have to do for some reason, we'll start on that one. But otherwise, I'm totally feeling the getting these guys done. Like my brain, that's where my brain's at right now. Let's finish these ones that are hanging out here still. So I'm feeling good about that. But look, that's cute. Oh man, now I almost want to keep going for the rest of it. But you know what? I do think just a nice little straight stitch, just around these little edges here, just a straight, yeah, I'll go around the whole thing and then that'll be easy. Then I only start and stop once. Like I don't do it, I don't start here, do this, and then start again. So that'll be easy. And then I'll see if I have any black of this too, or a darkish color, something maybe, or a brown or something. I know I have some more of this 12 weight. I just don't know how much, but then we'll try and do the ear and the head that way too. I'll have to do a small stitch, and I'll have to go real slow to get this nice arches and everything. But I think that we'll give that a try. So we're making the blanket stitch, I think, even more special by not doing it for the rest of it. So it'll stand out a little bit. So awesome. All right, I'm okay with those ideas. Let's do that. Maybe tomorrow after we check out the new blocks. That's how I'm feeling right now, but we'll see what those new blocks are first. And then, of course, we got that guy done today. These guys really match well together. I think these are both the same fabric. But cute. I'm excited to get the facial features on here because then it'll start really kind of defining him a little bit, I think. So awesome. Thanks, you guys. I'm going to flip you around and we'll call it a night. I will put both of these blocks in, I will put this video in both the blocks for the bowls and the blocks for the balance videos on YouTube. Thanks, Nolene. Nolene says my nails look good. I started doing them again. It's been months, so I've been so busy and I've been doing so much with my hands, like with boxes and stuff, that they just come off right away. But I was feeling just, I don't know, I was feeling like they needed to be cute again. So we're doing the nails again here. Hopefully my hands aren't as scary for you guys anymore like they've been for the past couple months. But here we go. That's the bowls, and that's what we did that little zigzag stitch on. And then this feller, he's coming along. So yeah, right now he's just still a silhouette, but once we get the embroidery in there, I think it's gonna, the black for the ear and everything, that's gonna make it look really nice. So awesome. I will get these up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies on YouTube. And remember, I will put them both, this one video, I'll put it in both sections. If you're in the bowls and want to see the rest of the bowls, it'll be there. And if you want to see this portion of the balance block with the elephant, it'll be in that one as well. So thanks, guys, and I will see you tomorrow for New Block Thursday. Have a great evening. Good night.